On a chilly morning in December, a young man named Daniel stood at the base of a mountain. He wasn't a climber, not really. In fact, most of his life, he had been told that he wasn't strong enough, smart enough, or determined enough to do anything great. His classmates laughed at him when he stumbled. His teachers often overlooked him, and even his own family sometimes doubted him. But Daniel carried a quiet belief deep inside. If I keep moving forward, maybe I can prove them wrong. That morning, the mountain looked impossibly high, its peak hidden behind thick clouds. His legs trembled, his heart raced, and the voice of doubt whispered, "You can't do this. Turn back before you embarrass yourself." But Daniel remembered the advice of an old mentor who once told him, "Greatness is not about giant leaps. It's about taking one more step when your mind says stop." So he took a step, then another. At first, the climb was easy, and Daniel felt confident. The path was smooth, the air was fresh, and the ground was steady. But as hours passed, the journey grew harder. His backpack felt heavier. The trail became steeper, and sharp winds pushed against him. Soon, exhaustion began to creep in. He fell to his knees, breathing heavily, sweat dripping down his face. Again, the inner voice returned. "See? You're weak. This mountain isn't for you. Go home." Daniel looked down the slope he had already climbed. It was steep, and he realized he had already come much farther than he ever thought possible. Then he remembered something his mentor once said. When you feel like quitting, don't think about how far you still have to go. Look at how far you've already come. He smiled faintly, pulled himself up, and whispered, "Just one more step." Hours turned into a day. The weather turned colder, and hunger gnawed at his stomach. Other climbers passed him by, some fast and confident, others struggling like him. A few even gave up and went back down. Daniel felt the same temptation, but each time he reminded himself, one more step. On the second day, he reached a narrow cliffside path. His legs were shaking uncontrollably, and for a moment, he froze. He looked to his right eye. Wall of rock. To his left, a terrifying drop into nothingness. The fear in his chest grew louder than ever. But then he remembered the faces of people who once said he would never amount to anything. He tightened his grip on the rocks, closed his eyes, and took a trembling step forward. Then another. Then another. Each step carried him closer to the top. Finally, after days of struggle, Daniel pulled himself over the final ridge. His hands scraped, his body exhausted. He collapsed onto the snowy peak. When he opened his eyes, he was above the clouds. The sun painted the sky in colors of gold and red. The world stretched endlessly before him, silent and beautiful. Tears filled his eyes, not because the climb was over, but because of what the climb had taught him. The mountain wasn't just a mountain. It was his life. Every time he wanted to quit, every time someone told him he wasn't the good, every obstacle he faced, it was all part of the climb. And the truth was simple. He didn't conquer the mountain. He conquered himself. Daniel stood tall, feeling stronger than he ever had. In that moment, he realized something powerful. Success doesn't belong to the fastest, the smartest, or even the strongest. It belongs to the one who refuses to quit, the one who takes just one more step when everyone else stops. And as he looked out from the top of that mountain, he knew his life would never be the same again, because he finally understood. Mountains are climbed the same way. Dreams are achieved one step at a time.